Everybody, and welcome to the June 18th Town Board meeting. It is 6:02 p.m. and I would like to make a motion to retire into executive session to discuss the hiring of a person or persons and or entities, RFPs, and an update on Kent Hollow.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, Matt, you need to leave and close. I make a motion that we exit out of executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so, and opposed? Welcome to the public meeting of the Amina Town Board. It is 7 o'clock, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the emergency exits are to my right, 2 doors, and a roll call.
Supervisor Ham?
Here.
Councilmembers Ahern? Here. Doyle?
Yeah.
Dietrich?
Here.
All present.
Okay, I make a motion that, or I need a motion to accept the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Public comment on agenda items. Anybody have a comment on agenda items? Going once? Okay. Wow, supervisor's report. Okay, so I had a meeting with Bridget Burgeon Davidson from the Wasake project, and Jillian Gunderson and Julia Rogers from HVA. And the purpose of that meeting was to discuss the possibility of opening access to the Wasake Creek for fishing and other recreational uses. Apparently, some of it belongs to Wasake project, and apparently there are 2 retaining walls. They believe that one of them belongs to Wasake project, and the other is part of Borden Park and belongs to the park. I did check with Mike on that, and he said parcel access is very unclear. The only way to definitively decide that was by a survey. So that was one thing that came up. So this was just an initial conversation, and it was brought up a couple years ago by the Rec Commission as well. And when they did the discussion about the initial discussion on the rec master plan. So just a few other things. So one of the first things that they would have to do, obviously, is the survey, and a hydraulic and hydrological survey would be the first step, which would cost about $100,000. So they were looking at getting a grant. We need to determine, the ownership of the retaining walls. And we may have, if we apply for grants, there are some grants apparently that can be written for non-for-profits, and some are municipal grants, and so it would have to be a collaboration between Wasake Project and the town of Amina. And Christy Gass is the grant writer for Wasake Project, and obviously she is our grant writer as well. So that was just kind of initial conversation, and we will be having a meeting again. I had a meeting with HVA regarding the Troutbeck easement. Our memorandum of understanding for the conservation easement stewardship expires in August, and that's for Troutbeck. It was a 2-year agreement, and they do the monitoring of the waterways of the Troutbeck property. And in their new contract, their intent is to turn some of those responsibilities over to the town. They have had when they have gone out to inspect, members from the CAC committee have been involved in that, and they feel confident that they know what to look for. They will still be on the back burner, they will still be support, but they won't be doing all the heavy lifting for that. So, there's a lot of conversation that has to go on about that as well. They intend by mid-July to give us a proposal, which I will share with you when I get it. There's concerns about speed in Amina Union. A gentleman called and said that, and this is not the first time I've heard this, that they want the Amina Union speed limit reduced to 30 or 35 miles an hour. it is a county road, and we have to go through the same basic process that we did for changing the speed limit for out here on 22. We had to have a resolution from the town, and there's a form that has to be sent in to the county. The county then sends it on to DOT. I learned a little piece of information. DOT determines all speed limits on all roads, regardless of whether they're town, county, or state roads. So they ultimately have the decision. So that's something that we need to think about and discuss whether we want to do that. The concern was, especially in the summer when Lime Rock has races, people cut through Amenia Union, South Amenia Union to get over to Lime Rock, and speed limit, I guess, is pretty, people speed through there all the time. Another concern we had was the online water payment feature, which doesn't work on our website. And so Nancy has been putting in a lot of work to looking at other programs. I did send you two that she found, Paya and Unilink. The water committee has been discussing it. They haven't made their final decision, or they don't make the decision, but recommendation. The cost of those programs would be for the water district, but they're leaning towards Unilink, which they said was the most user-friendly, both from our point of view and working with VRI and water billing and all of that, as well as for the people in the water district. The Route 44 sidewalk. Someday I will not have to report on the Route 44 sidewalk. There was another meeting on site with DOT, Pasquale from Contech, and the inspector from the county. The inspector from the county was out to because of the grant that we got, which was extended. They decided differently from what the last meeting was, the last decision of the last meeting, which was just to do piecemeal work. The problem was that can be an issue for any contractor who wants to get bonded, because bonding companies won't go for that. And Pasquale, who was the second lowest bidder on our bids, said that his bonding company had real concerns about that because he would be liable for any of the sidewalk, regardless of whether he actually put it in or what was left behind. Some of the problems of why it has to be ripped up is because the aggregate they used, they took from the Amenia Highway Department, the mounds that were in the park, and that is not DOT certified or approved for that kind of work. There are issues with the drain. And so basically I spoke to Joseph Kaufman, who is from HELD, which is a representative of the bonding company, and he said that we needed to get a quote to him from Pasquale. He said it would be $315,000, and he needs to get a quote from Pasquale, and then he also has to get a justification from DOT on why they have to rip the whole thing up. Pasquale's ready to go in 2 weeks. He said it would take a maximum of 3 weeks to get it done after he got started. I'm hoping this all works out and that we can move forward and get it done. The lighting in the auditorium. We did reach out to 3 engineers for the inspection of the I-beam. The one we had was for $1,850. We had someone come that you recommended, and he said he can't do it in our time frame, so he wasn't interested. Oh, by the way, to get back to the sidewalk talk about not being interested, the engineering company and the bonding company actually reached out to some of the other bidders from the first one, and they're not interested. They don't want anything to do with it. They even reached out to a contractor in Poughkeepsie who hadn't bid on it, and he said no. So it's not a popular project. No, not the way it is. Not the way it is. So the 1850, the guy Mark Day will come out on July 7th to meet with John and actually take a look at it. One of the reasons is that. One of the reasons that supports the cost is the fact that the I-beam is not fully exposed, and they would have to break through the ceiling in order to fully do that. So I don't know where we go with that. We reached out to another engineer who we haven't heard back from. And one that, and one said he couldn't do the job in our time frame, and we have this one. So I don't know where you want to go with this.
Well, you've got the three reaching out,
Right.
so you've met the requirements, so $1,800 is the bid that we have that can satisfy that
Right, so
question.
when, yes, so,
That
so,
includes putting it all back into order once
Right.
they rip out the,
so like I said, after the meeting, what we can do on the with the meeting, we'll get the, and if you can do it last minute, because we have a meeting, have him come out and actually finalize that cost, and maybe we can get a resolution, because we are time sensitive, because they want to get this done prior to the play, because they have to put the grid up.
I'm familiar with Mark, so I can look at Mark.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great. And that concludes my report. The next thing on is, I believe, the town clerk.
It says building department report.
Oh, all right, sorry. Any committees here to do reports? All right, Judy?
I am assuming that the summer camp resolution will be passed, so I'm speaking before that. But I'd like, first of all, to introduce the person who's going to be camp director. Our assistant camp director and camp director are here. I thought it might be nice for you to meet them. It's Amy Wesley and Danielle Yino. And there are a lot of people to thank about this, in addition to the board. Danielle has had to do a lot of last-minute work. Amy has had to do a lot of last-minute work because this didn't used to have to go through civil service and other things, and she's gotten everybody together and gotten the paperwork necessary to Nancy, to whom I owe an enormous thanks for the work she has done to get everything done in time and in the frame that we needed it.
And good-naturedly.
Absolutely, she has been great, and I really, really want to thank her. I want to thank Marge for the work she will have to do now to put the people in on the payroll. And I would like to thank Ian, who had to, again, at the last minute, throw a resolution together. This is getting to be a theme sometimes. But I'm very grateful to everyone who stepped up and had a part in getting this done. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the town of Amenia run a camp again. And I certainly can't forget to thank the Amenia USA Community Organization for providing the funding for this. We're very grateful for that. It's been a long time since we could run a camp, and I have to say thanks to everybody involved. Everybody came together and worked for a good program for town of Amenia, and I really appreciate that. There are other things. Nicole is going to talk about soccer.
I was going to mention the town board comments,
Okay.
if that's okay, just keep the meeting moving, unless you want me to do them now.
No, that's fine. I'm going to ask people, we decided that we're doing the senior picnic on July 18th this year. It will go up on the board and on the website. Just want to try to make sure everybody saves the date. Try not to be gone if you'd like to come and have a really nice meal for free. So that'll be up on the website again too soon. So that's it for now. Thanks.
Ken?
Hi, I was going to report on the last comprehensive plan committee, but I see it's on your agenda.
but you can take it
Well,
away.
thank you, Vicky.
Thank you.
Ken Topolsky, I'm a member of the Comprehensive Plan Review Committee, and most of you know all of this on the board, but for the benefit of the public, we have been selected for a very highly competitive grant that was awarded pending contract to Amenia. And one of the issues is who's going to be the consultants that we use. And here, there's some language that I've seen that could be confusing. We originally opted for a sole source, which is oftentimes referred to as a single source as well. I don't know exactly the difference, so if it's pertinent, I'll let all of you work on that when we have to as the committee. Sole source means that we are not going to bid, that we are going to use one person for grant writing, one person for the land use plan, and one person as the attorney for proceeding with the plan and advising the committee. And the parties that were chosen were for land use PACE, which had done the Engaging Amenia and is also working on the new rec plan. For attorney, Rodenhouse, Chell, Polidoro, who are the planning board attorneys. For the grant writing, Christina Gast, who is the grant writer for the town of Amenia and already has a contract with the town. The fees are, for the land use, $126,000. For the attorney, it's $6,000. And for the grant writer is also $6,000. And the plan, just because I should have mentioned it first, is the Town of Amenia Smart Growth Comp Plan. So the single source proposal was sent to the Department of State, or was submitted, sorry, and it was discussed. There was some issue in the planning board meeting as to, is that really the way we want to go? Maybe we really do need to use an RFP and go to competitive bid. And this was at the meeting 2 weeks ago, I believe. And with a quorum present, the committee decided that they wanted to go with RFPs, go out to competitive bids. In a meeting today with the supervisor and the grant writer, Christina, it was discussed further as to how advantageous is that or not. And Christina's recommendation is that it might not be in our best advantage to go out for RFPs. For instance, PACE has so much familiarity with this community. They've already assembled quite a bit of the information. Are we going to really be doing double the work? Will it take more time? Is that really advantageous? Or do they meet the procurement policies of the town of Amenia, which they do? And all of this has been vetted against those procurement policies. So right now, the Comprehensive Plan Committee has said we want to go, or the majority, the vote was decided that we want to go for an RFP. However, some additional information has come in, and ultimately it's going to be up to you to decide whether we should proceed with the RFP or we should go back and review it, or our recommendation right now, as of right now, is to go with the RFP, and that's based on a majority of the committee. Sorry to be so long-winded, but anyone have any questions?
It's complicated.
Thank you. Oh.
I just want to say that I think that it's single source that Christina Gast was recommending and had put all those procurement documents together for us. I think I heard sole source, but it is a source of confusion that the words are so similar.
I have seen it referred to both ways.
Okay, so I think Christina told me on the way up here, it's single source that she is recommending, which is all the documents she put together for us.
Okay.
And the committee, I think, needs to review all of that and then come back and think about that again, given Christina's recommendations that you
Okay.
just gave us.
I just want to clarify one thing for people. I was struggling with sole source and single source, and I finally came up with a definition that kind of clarified it for me, and it might be helpful. But a single source, so it's a matter of choice. Sole source is when there is nobody else capable of doing the job. You have something so complicated or so narrow to what you need to do, that they're the only ones that can do that job. Single source means you make the deliberate decision to go with somebody that you think is the best for whatever reason, like in this case, maybe because the PACE has already done the engaging Amenia. And so those are two, that's what the difference is, and that did clarify for me because I was really struggling with it myself.
Right, sole sources, unique benefits, no competition available, best value, things like that. All right,
Thank you.
so pending your decision, let the chair or vice chair know, and we will proceed based on that.
Okay, thank you. Any other boards? No, I don't think so. Okay, so, town clerk, report.
So, good evening. The minutes of June 4th were circulated prior to the meeting. Who's ready to move on those?
I make a motion that
Thank
we
you.
accept those minutes.
Thank you. You're shaking.
I second.
Thank you, Rosanna. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Also reporting this evening, thank you everyone for coming in and signing the vouchers. Makes March happy when everyone does. So tonight I'm presenting the abstract totaling $184,021.96, and I'm seeking authorization for the supervisor to pay claims. General fund, $123,561.38. Highway fund, $26,198.60. Amenia Lighting, $1,258.06. Wasake Lighting, $496.13. Amenia Water, $21,133.29. Water District Capital Project, $1,885. Highway Garage Capital Project, $9,487.50. And again, seeking authorization for the supervisor to pay claims as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Nicole.
I'll second.
Thanks, Rosanna. All in favor?
Aye.
Can you opposed? Bills are paid. Also wanted to just share with the public and the board that I did have the opportunity on June 8th and 9th to attend and participate at the New York State Association of Local Government Record Retention Officers Conference. Last month I was invited to present a class. It was the class I did on was basic records management between the town clerk and the court clerk. Having those two disciplines, they had brought me in to give them the whole rundown on what happens for the court clerks when we get possession of our court records. It was a really fun conference, a conference I had never attended or was part of that association. They found me as a presenter from AOT's experience and the town clerk, and I had the opportunity to present to BOCES, and it was like really, it was state, county, local government. I had all of my anyone that is considered a records management officer, and it was really enlightening and refreshing, and it brought back a lot of little creative tricks of the trade that when I came back on Wednesday morning, I immediately grabbed Erica and Bridget, and I'm like, okay guys, I gotta go over a couple things with you. So I just, that was a true honor to be able to present to a group of individuals who I did not know, and I look forward to next year's conference. They've already asked me to come back as a presenter, so you guys all know me keeping Amenia on the map as a presenter, state and county-wide, that this was pretty exciting for me on a personal note. But that wasn't the only thing that is fun that's going on. We've got to bring it right back to hometown love, right? So let's start off with all the exciting things going to be happening in July. It's only 2 weeks away. Our summer blood drive is going to be held at the Amenia Firehouse on Wednesday, July 1st, 3 to 7:30. These flyers are going to be up and around. They are already posted on Facebook. You can just get your phone and click on that QR code and sign up that way, or just stop on at the firehouse and donate some blood. Right after our blood drive, because we're all tired, right? And we're gonna wanna eat some good food. Come on down to the firehouse on July 4th. After our parade, we will have some good eats there. It's our carnival food, so they're gonna have hamburgers, hot dogs, fried dough, our French fries, sausage and peppers, and all the good eats. They're gonna have live music going on, so come down and enjoy all of the festivities. What we're doing for the parade is you're gonna be lining up on Railroad Avenue, so the intersection of Railroad and Old Route 22. So we're gonna ask that you still come through town, go past the firehouse and proceed down Railroad Avenue and just get in line. The parade will be the same parade route, similar to our Christmas parade. You're gonna come down Old Route 22 to the light in town, and we're gonna proceed right down Route 343 and back to the firehouse. We're encouraging everyone to come down, bring a float, baseball, soccer. I did speak, I know I spoke to Vicki earlier, make sure our elected officials are there. We all want to come out and support a local hometown event as we're celebrating our country's anniversary. So we hope to see everyone there, red, white, and blue, you know, have some fun. And I look forward to spending the holiday with everyone this year. And that concludes the town clerk's report.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Discussion items, the tobacco-free action communities. I sent all that information to you. I guess the discussion we need to have is, do you want to move forward with that? And basically, the issues are, down on the parks, there are no smoking signs. When there are no smoking signs, that also includes cannabis smoking. But they also now want to include vaping. Do we want to proceed with that and have the new signs that say no smoking, no vaping, no, I guess, cannabis? Also, the other thing that we kind of discussed was smoking on town property, around town hall. Do we want to proceed to go and ban the smoking on town property?
I thought that was recommended by the
Well,
presenter,
or
she thought it was a good idea.
She thought it was a good idea, but, you know, it ultimately is our decision. But I guess I just need to know whether you are.
I'd be in favor of it, unless there's a good reason.
So she came the one time, I thought she was coming back.
She hasn't come because she had some kind of issue and she's been out of work.
Okay.
So she hasn't come, and she sent me the material.
Right.
So basically, in that material, there was a sample resolution, you know, to move forward with that. Do we have to change any laws?
I think it's just,
I haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen.
I think I sent it to you. I think I sent it to everybody.
updating
I don't
the
know.
park signs.
Just include no
I
vaping.
remember the initial stuff, but I was in agreement with Walter. I thought she was coming back for the presentation of this. So I would have to look at it again. I
Okay.
didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Was it that they would give us the signs
They
too?
give us the
They
signs.
give us the
yeah.
signs. We're
Yeah.
just updating
No,
our
I'm all
signs to
for
include
updating
no
the signs
vaping.
at the parks,
Yeah.
to include the no vaping.
We don't have a local law right
everything.
now with regards to the signs in our parks, for sure.
No.
That was done by, I
We-
believe, a town board resolution.
We did that years ago because it was the
Yes.
same group that came here and we have the signs, and she was pretty impressed to see that those same signs are still
Oh,
intact here. So they're
so
her
yeah, so
signs,
basically
we just
we're
want to
just
update
updating.
it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if she
can just
can't
do
come
that,
out to
right?
me, I'm fine.
The
with
only
it.
difference would be,
I haven't seen it. Probably yes, but I haven't seen it, so I can't.
I will send it. I will find the materials and send them to you. But the other issue is about the no smoking on
Town
town hall
property.
property.
Well, the back's already a park, so I don't,
Well, people smoke out in front of town hall, there's an ashtray, you know, one of those things.
I know
out
there's
there.
one out back, yeah.
Is that being used? Because if it's not being used, then I think we
It's
should
run by the side
encourage
door too, I
it
think.
to continue not to be a policy here.
Do we have any smokers that are in town hall working right now?
I'll work on that.
We don't
Does anyone know?
anymore, correct?
We don't have any.
Not
currently,
anymore.
no.
We did.
I mean, the
Okay.
concern is that it is 100, it's less than 100 feet from our entranceway door, which it shouldn't even be there to begin with. So,
Right.
I mean,
I think
it's
it
in the
should
wrong
go.
placement anyway.
It's
It
like
should
that.
go.
So we just remove it.
I would
Correct.
recommend
I would
that.
remove it and I would ban it, and if you ever have a worker, we'll have to make arrangements for them.
Well, you know, I have to tell you, with the
Make it
school
right.
district,
Elsewhere.
for the school district, there's no smoking on property. So if you are an employee that smokes, you need to leave the property. So on your lunchtime, you can leave the property and have a cigarette, but there is
They go out in the
no
room.
way that you can
Down by the
smoke on school property. That's the way the school district does.
No,
Mhm.
that's
And so I
town
think
road.
that perhaps we could do the same thing if there is a worker that, that smokes, then they could, you know, go down to the sidewalk, you know, go down.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's all I'm saying,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
So I just sent that to Ian, and there's a sample resolution, there's a local law from, a typical local law that Albany is using. I think that we should look into what all is involved in issuing that new policy.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah, I can take a look at it.
Thank you.
Fencing, Councilwoman Ahern.
Well, I sent you guys the Adams quote. I did reach out to A&C. She reached out to me today. I don't know when she'll have me a quote. Walter, I was trying to get a third. You mentioned.
I just see the trucks,
fencing.
Euro fencing,
Okay.
I see the trucks when I drive to work all the time.
I guess
I don't know.
The bigger question is, we get these three quotes, right? Who's paying for this? The Wassaic portion. The side, I know the fencing for the sidewalk is different, but the Wassaic fencing,
So,
who needs to
so
start
when
looking at
that
budgets?
originally was installed, that was part of the extension of the rail service into, you know, through the hamlet of Wassaic. And they, I think, installed that fence. I remember paying though for the item for, I'm not sure if the town paid for that, but that was 26 years ago, right? So that fence has been Band-Aid together by the recreation workers.
And is that?
And they bought new, you know, fencing rails, and they resurrected it but they've never
That's what I
really
wanted to know.
rebuilt
Chris
it.
So is that part of the rail trail that belongs to the county?
I think
No,
it's,
'cause it's along the train
owners.
station.
Okay, along the trains.
Yeah, I think
Or not the train
that's a
station, but the
good
train
question,
tracks.
is who owns
Uh,
that? Because 66 feet from the center of the railroad tracks, right? Even though they have the giant fence
But we put it
there.
up to begin
But
with?
I think, no, they put the fence up, that's theirs. And then the question is whether or not that little path is even ours. I guess it is. We'd have to measure and make sure that it's ours. I'll look on parcel access and see.
Who put the post and rail in? You're
I
talking about the
think
chain
that-
link.
The post and rail, the metal fence was done by the
That's
railroad,
right,
both
right.
sides.
The one that we're getting
Yeah.
quotes on was put in by,
I thought it was them when they originally extended through Wassaic, the Metro North. But I think it was our responsibility there on out
okay.
to maintain and take care of it. I do remember the item for
So-
being donated or
So the
possibly
question then remains though, who
parcel access, I'll
who
find
would
out.
pay for that? Because it's a pretty hefty price
Yeah,
to
It's-
redo that whole
And
thing.
you know, 700 feet.
yeah, no, I think it's been kicked, the can has been kicked down the road for years. It's been in decline. It's really in decline now. And
Mhm.
so I think it's probably something we have to actually budget for, and it probably would technically be a park. It's an entrance to the park. So somehow we've got to find enough money
So
to.
Ian, we had this conversation on other things at Beekman Park when it came to what things we needed to worry about in rec lines and budget for and what came out of town. And that's why I'm not sure on where the fencing comes into play.
What, you know, what part
Because
of
it's
it is?
not actually at the park. You know what I mean? It's the entranceway to that park, along the train tracks.
It sounds like there's a number of issues, actually, with this right now. Parcel access is a tool, but it's not accurate. You'd want a survey, which may exist already on the records, with regards to that particular fence. The other fences, you know, I don't know exactly where they are. I'm not that familiar with where they sit, so.
So what do you need first then?
We can discuss what first the quotes are, where they are, and we can talk about it offline if
Okay.
you like, and you can let me know
Okay.
which ones we're looking at, and I can look at each.
It looks like it looks on parcel access, again, it's not a legal document, but it is a pretty good representation. If you look at that, the actual rail trail, the little gravel path to our park is owned by Metro North, because they own 66 feet from the center typically of the railroad tracks. So it goes beyond their metal fence. And that is why probably I don't remember us ever paying for that
Certainly worth a conversation.
split rail
Okay.
fence. I think we need to tell them
Yeah,
that their
that's my
fence is
point, yeah.
unsafe
I would
and their
reach out to
property
them.
is not in good condition.
Because it is, you need something there, right? There's that bank, it goes down to a bank.
You know, they were, you know, they put it in, I
Right.
think. I mean, this clearly, it's not even on the line. It's, you know,
But was there a resolution done or something that determined that it was then our?
responsibility.
Right, thereafter?
I don't think it would be, because if it's their right of way, their, you know, their property. We are not supposed to be on, you know, but we
But it's
do
our
have
park
use,
access.
obviously. It's our park
It's-
access, so.
It's worth a conversation. I think someone should reach out and try to
To-
So the
contact them
planning
somewhere.
department at Metro North? Yeah, there used to
Yeah, I'm not
be,
sure
I mean,
where-
she's retired, but I could go for that same person who used to be on Metro North. Yeah,
It's definitely worth asking.
okay.
The part along the sidewalk, when it's built, it would be, I don't know if that would fall under the bonding, or that would be town, but it needs to go in per DOT.
Yeah, I saw that there's two separate quotes. There was one for Beekman Park, and then there was one for the Wassaic, the Beekman, because I was having Adams come out and quote anyway. So they met me at Beekman, and they did what we would need done for the sidewalk.
Okay.
So that's what she's asking. I'm not sure if that's gonna be included or not.
We'd have to go back to the original scope. If it was not in the original scope, it would be something in addition to
It's
that
not the
project.
original.
Then it's,
But DOT is saying that it's, like, we need to have it.
so it would be an additional contract that you would have to have. So basically
So we
quotes
would,
to
it
do
would
it.
be the
and-
town's
yeah,
responsibility if it's
Yep,
not an
correct.
original.
Yeah, it
Okay.
wouldn't be something we'd be able to,
Okay.
say for instance, we had the contract to do this sidewalk, and there was an additional requirement that came out somewhere else. We would have to go out for a bid for that additional requirement at this point.
Okay. Well, and I am getting free, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comment on fencing?
Do you want me to go ahead and with this, Willie, what was his name, that the farmers use for fencing for Beekman Park and such, the other two
Well,
projects?
oh, okay, you have a third? Okay, because I was gonna look into the one Walter mentioned, but if you already have, yeah.
Hers
Why
would be
not?
better.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
He
sure.
does a good job for farmers, I don't know.
All right, do
if
you
this
want
is-
me to contact Metro North, or are you?
I'm trying to figure out who to do, who is
to
in
contact?
charge.
Yeah, okay.
I was just gonna contact Terrence McCauley, who used to work for them and was the government liaison, so I think he'd probably know how or who if I can't figure it out. But you're welcome to take the lead if you think you have,
No, I don't have
some
any
ideas.
No.
okay, I'm gonna just call Terrence
Okay.
if I can't figure it out myself.
So Vicky will reach out to Willie though for the third.
Okay, the next item is Comprehensive Plan Review Committee and the RFPs, and do you want to lead that?
Comp Plan Review Committee, I think, was covered very nicely by Ken Topolsky, a committee member, and our plan as the town board's feeling has been that we will have a next meeting scheduled in which the Comp Plan Review Committee can revisit their last decision or thoughts that they would like to go out to an RFP, and then given Christina and Rosanna's input, have them revisit those procurement policy docs that were originally put together, and have them reconsider and understand more fully why the single source, am I saying it right?
Yep.
Single source makes good sense for efficiency, cost effectiveness, efficiency, and quality of product. We, you know,
So basically, it was what we talked about with Christie. So we would resend out all those documents, ask them to read it, come up with questions prior to the meeting, right? Send them to, Vicky will compile them, and send them on to, Christie and maybe Amanda as well, Amanda Wild, and then, have that meeting with Christie there at the meeting, and then, have them
Make
do
another
do a
decision.
revote, you know, decide whether they still want to go with the RFP or if they want to stick with the single source justification.
And your reasoning is efficiency and a unique relationship already with the town, aware of it, and it offers advantages in that respect? Is that what
I
I'm
think
hearing?
that's what I was hearing also, is that the single source procurement package, the way it was presented, gives the town the professional services that we're comfortable with, that has already been well established. They're familiar with our zoning code and have already worked well with our committee.
So I just want
Is
to know
that
that
correct?
the
Yeah.
town board has recommended that or has asked that we reevaluate, reconsider based on what you just said.
Correct.
And that's a feeling of the board so that I could represent that accurately
Yes.
to the committee.
And based on the meeting that we had,
And based on our meeting as well.
because, you know, a lot of it was perhaps not understanding, and so we want to make sure that everybody has a clear understanding what that is and what that's going to mean to do the RFP, and then they can make an informed decision as to how they want to proceed.
So you want us to make a smart decision,
Yeah,
and that was good.
and nicely, and nicely, make a smart decision and
A
nicely.
nice and smart
Kindly.
decision, kindly.
Right. The cleanup of the fence line behind Town Hall, and I'll turn that over.
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I had asked, you know, is there a way we can get that tree removed, since we were talking about contacting these trees to take care of the cemetery? We had thought that it was a day price, but it's not, right? They have to.
I don't know. Walter has, that's his next.
This is kind of twofold, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I thought maybe
So
I should go
why don't
first,
you-
actually.
Yes,
So
go
why
ahead.
don't you go first?
So I met with Sean, and I'm forgetting his last name, I'm sorry, Sean, if you're listening, from Lee's Trees, and he's given us an estimate on both the cemetery and the tree that's down behind the town hall here.
Okay.
So I met with Sean, and also George Bistranson was there at the cemetery. And there are a great deal of trees that need to come down. And what we discussed was that we probably do it in phases because there's so many. The first phase would be to remove the overhanging branches that are on the west side of the cemetery, because it's really blocking all the light from there. And also those trees are not on our property, so that we cannot take them down or anything. But because the limbs are hanging over our property, we can remove the limbs. We do have to contact the owners, thank you, Don, and tell them that we want to do this and make sure they're okay with it. But Sean has dealt with these people before, he believes, and there shouldn't be any problem. Then on the south side of the cemetery, there's several smaller trees, not small, but smaller, trees that are on the property that are starting to move the wall and gravestones that we would like to take down. So we'd like to start with those two, and then maybe next year, keep this in the budget, because there's a big old tree in the middle that should come down completely. I have to go back a little. That tree would be trimmed this time to get rid of the dead branches, but then next year it really should come down. And then there's several on the east side that are on the property that are coming up and getting larger and larger that need to come down. But we don't have to do it all at once. And that his proposal, then, he believes that for the cemetery would be most likely a day and a half. So that's why it would be $4,050. And then it's a half a day for the tree behind
It's a
the.
big tree.
It's a big tree. I
Yeah.
saw it, but I didn't know, I hadn't seen it until you mentioned it.
So
Yes.
the reality of it is $2,700 a day.
Yes, yes. Yeah, he said it was, well, I told you what it is.
No, I
He said, when you said you wanted an estimate, so.
No.
He said that he wanted to do an estimate. And he said, yeah, I did. It was fine, yes, 2,700. And he was right on the ball, so we just have to figure out if we want to do it.
Sounds like we should.
I think we should. I really think we should.
Well,
It's
especially
bad.
on the south side, if they're starting to move the wall and roofs
Yes.
do a tremendous amount of damage.
Tremendous
To
amount of damage.
headstones and actual, into
Next to him.
the plots themselves, so.
Sorry.
Yeah,
He's got one.
we got 'em.
Oh, maybe I made too many, sorry.
A lot of these. So, yeah, I agree, and as far as the tree in the back, do we feel that we should move forward with that as well?
I think we should.
I mean,
Have
you
you
just
seen it?
do 2 days.
And I
worth.
think
You do
once that
day
gets
and-
removed, we can decide who.
It's
like-
2 days, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, he says
They're
that
cold.
this is,
get them done.
No,
this is
I'm talking about, once the one in the town hall gets removed, the fencing, all that growth on the fencing needs to get removed too.
right.
But I wanna wait until the tree's out of the way.
Yeah, you need to have the
Yeah.
tree out of there because it's
Yeah.
bad.
Is that not something that Northwest or whoever has our contract for mowing is
It's not
taking
part
care
of
of?
mowing, it's like vines on the fencing that are coming up over the fencing,
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
It's the swamp moving back in.
Okay.
yeah.
So even if it's not covered by their current contract, could they do it outside of their contract? I mean, could they give us a price?
Oh, I'm sure we could contact them just to find
Right.
out,
I can ask Frank.
yeah.
Okay.
It is possible to get another price also from the fellow who does our work in the front yard of the town hall, and see if he could also tackle
Good.
the back.
Because you had a lot of that growth come up on
Is
the
it
side
just a
of the
huge
building.
project or not?
I honestly don't know, I only look at it from afar, but I see it, and I'm like, oh, you can't see the fence because there's all this green growth, like vines and stuff overgrowing it.
Why don't
Well,
I get
maybe when
another
he comes out to
quote?
work on Fountain Square, have
Yes.
him take a look at it and see if he can do it.
Yes,
That and the rain garden needs to be desperately looked at.
the rain
Because there's
garden.
Because there's
trees growing
3 trees in
that.
the rain garden.
So who's mowing or maintaining that?
Nobody.
Nobody. So it
That was
will
gonna
be
be-
shrubby,
all-
horrible unless
yeah.
it's mowed.
Usually, I think rec cuts it down once a year.
Judy's, okay, let's think about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know what the answer is,
I don't know what the answer is either, but it is a mess out there.
in general, but maybe we'll get some prices on doing the rain garden and the fence
Okay.
back there.
That sounds good. And the last item is thank you, Walter, for that. The last meeting, the last issue is the July board meeting. So the regularly scheduled meeting in July is July 2nd, which is right before the 4th of July holiday. Town hall will be closed on the 2nd. And so that we had the discussion, one of our options is to have our meeting, since it is a 5-week month, that we can have 9th and the 23rd, and we still don't break the 2-week, we're not jamming up. So is everybody okay with doing July 9th and the 23rd for the
Yes.
July meetings?
9th and the 23rd. I will not be here on the 23rd, but I don't think you'll still have a quorum
Okay.
if you all three can meet.
Okay. Dawn, would you put that on the website, please? And I'm probably should put it on the sign as well. Okay. Resolutions, the consent agenda.
Okay.
Take it away.
We're going to begin with resolution number 52, appointment of secretary to the town supervisor. 53, acknowledging appointment of deputy town clerk. 54, authorizing the town board of the town of Amenia to accept donation from the Amenia Wausau Community Organization. 55, accepting the license agreement with Maplebrook School to operate a summer camp. 56, to appoint, appoint seasonal employees for the summer camp program. 56, awarding the contract for the heating system circulation valve replacement. And number 57, our transfer of funds for the June of 2026. Is there a
I
motion?
had just one question
Sure.
that maybe Judy could answer for me about the,
Oh, 58, transfer of funds. Sorry.
about the camp. Could you go to the mic for me? Thank you. I just was trying to figure out the $6,600. These are, I'm sorry, I shouldn't close that. Registration fees.
Yes, it's actually 65.50 right now, but we'll probably get more. Yeah.
So it's people that have already registered? Is
Yes.
that- Just to be clear? Okay. And you may
Yes.
get more?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
No, absolutely, because the registration, they had opened it before they realized they were not going to be able to run it, so checks have been coming in, some cash has come in, so,
That's fine. Thank you
okay,
very much.
thanks.
So is there a motion to go ahead and accept the resolutions on the consent agenda?
I make that motion.
Okay, Nicole?
I'll second.
Oh, Rosanna, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, all of our resolutions, so welcome aboard.
I did, real quick, Judy, I did have a question, because it was asked, and 30 to 40 students, I think, is what, or campers, sorry.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I believe they have 40 now,
We
yeah,
have 40 now, okay.
Yep.
Wow.
There you go.
Right.
Or to
so,
get that number.
yep.
And thank
It's-
you for all your hard work.
Well,
Yes,
that's okay, thanks. I'm sure I've made life not intentionally difficult for some people, so I very much appreciate all of the work that's been done to get this through.
Okay, non-consent agenda, nothing, other matters?
I was just gonna announce, it doesn't matter, other matters, town board comments. Soccer signups for fall are open now through July 31st. It's posted out front as well as on our Facebook, and it will be on our website. And then, as Judy said, the senior picnic is July 18th at 12 p.m. at the Wassaic Firehouse, and you can RSVP at recreation@ameniany.gov. That was it.
I wanted to update everyone on the EV charging grant status. We have the EV charging station down at the Amenia Rail Trail head on Mechanic and Depot and Railroad Avenue intersection. It's free for 2 years. We got a grant from the New York State DEC, and that's all up and running. There is a limit that tells you that after your car is fully charged, you're gonna start getting charged. You have 20 minutes to get there and move it. So there's a nominal fee, but it'll start notifying you. As far as I know, everything is going fine. I haven't heard any reports of people abusing it. Your neighbor is using it. So if you have a plug-in EV vehicle, electric vehicle, you can go for free for these 2 years that it's available and have your car charged while you're out on the rail trail or you're visiting downtown businesses. So it's handy, and if you didn't know it exists, it is on and running. We do, before we actually can get reimbursed for the costs that have been incurred so far, everything is on track, but our grant writer, Christina Gast, checked back to see what was still outstanding on the contract that we need with the New York State DEC, and there's just 2 more items that are needed, and one is a disability exemption certificate, and she sent that PDF, so we'll learn what a disability exemption certificate is needed for this. And then the other item that's outstanding, but sounds very doable, is an SDVOB utilization plan. I mean, all of this is very convoluted, but it can all be done. It's simply that all contracts are subject to the 6% service disabled veteran-owned businesses goal, that we have do our very best to meet those goals if there are any contractors who meet that criteria. So we're just filling out the relevance. We just need to fill out the relevant sections and the good faith efforts, and send those in, and then we should be able to start recouping our expenses that have been part of that grant, which is 100% grant funded. That is that. I also wanted to mention that Amenia Garden Club is hosting its Real Gardens Tour on Saturday, July 11th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's $20 a person, and that $20 will also gain you membership to the Amenia Garden Club. They have some wonderful presentations throughout the year at the library. They've had some here. They give away some bulbs if you're so lucky to be at the community days and such. They also helped purchase, well, they have purchased the tree plantings that we've done for the town on the rail trail in Wasaik as a part of our Arbor Day celebration. So thank you to the Amenia Garden Club. That's $20 that goes to a really good cause, and you get to see some really great gardens that you may not know were hidden. As you drive around Amenia, there are some fantastic gardeners. We are blessed with an amazing and talented and hardworking group of gardeners out there. That's all I have.
I do want to mention, Ken, and I don't know if you were going to mention this, but we are having our next Harvest Festival meeting on June 27th. I believe it was at 10 o'clock. So I just want to make everybody aware
Here
of
at
that.
Town Hall.
Here at Town Hall, yep. Any other comments or concerns?
I just would like to wish everyone a happy Juneteenth tomorrow, and to remind everyone that banks, post office, and all government offices will be closed.
Oh, no, I see.
Will the early voting be open, do you know?
I'm sorry?
Will the early voting?
I believe that it will be opened, but I'm not 100% sure.
On the 27th, it is open.
Yeah, thank you, Vicki.
Yep. And our best polling place for Amenia residents is Cornell Cooperative Extension if you're looking for the shortest distance.
And it's also very quick. All right, public comment on all business matters. Anybody?
Anybody else want to go? Sorry, Ken. Just have to help you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks. Mike's in the way.
There you go. Thank you. So, I'm Kimberly Travis. I live on Cascade Mountain Road. I think all of you probably know that already. And I want to address the issue regarding the use of a banner in Fountain Square on Saturdays. If you look at section 121-39 under signs and read subsection B, exempt signs for this ruling that Rosanna had brought up is our temporary signs are exempt, and anything smaller than 16 square feet. And we're there for 1 hour. Out of 168 hours in the week, we're there for 1 hour. Your statement quoted from permanent business signs under subsection D. We are not using anything permanent, nor are we a business. We are simply concerned citizens exercising our First Amendment rights. We are not eliminating or painting or drawing on any municipally owned property, and we remove every item that we use immediately upon completion of our peaceful protest. First and foremost, though, we are doing no harm. In fact, the exact opposite, and Vicki can attest to this, we clean up Fountain Square every Saturday as we gather our things to leave. If you recall in the First Amendment, freedom of speech, individuals have the right to express their opinions and ideas without government censorship. We have a right to assemble. Citizens can gather peacefully in public places to protest, march, or associate with any group they choose. We have a right to petition. Citizens have the right to ask the government to correct wrongs and change policies. Remember this, we the people must never accept government threats to our freedom of speech. If citizens have representatives that are unwilling to protect our constitutional freedoms, then it seems to me that said representation clearly has their own agenda and not that of the citizens that they are supposed to be serving. So my question is, since we are doing no harm, and it's a temporary sign for 1 hour a week, and we use nylon rope, and we were tying it to the lampposts, and the nylon rope does no damage to the paint whatsoever. So my request, cordially, is that we be allowed to continue doing that during our peaceful protests on Saturdays. It's very quiet in here.
No, well,
Well,
no.
it's public comment, not Q&A.
So, do you have anything that you want to say about that?
I don't necessarily agree with the interpretation in the code. There are other Supreme Court decisions that address this issue. Lamp posts, any utility poles, things of that nature are not usually considered public ways or public forums for public use, such as like the sidewalk. Sidewalk clearly is, and you can have signs up. If you look at even within the American Civil Liberties Union has guidelines on this. They don't even allow signs on any sort of posts or any, it's just, this is all they allow. That's it. That's within their own guidelines. I didn't know this was coming, so I don't have anything particularly prepared, but it's my reading of the code. I mean, there's a specific section in your code on location and maintenance of signs, and it specifically states that no sign shall be placed on utility poles or other road or utility structures or signposts.
And I think
But
that's what this is. It's just generally speaking, they're not signs. It doesn't matter what it is or who it is. We don't even allow our fire department. We didn't allow Harvest Festival to put up signs. So it's not that you have signs. It's the fact that you cannot tie them to town property, right?
It says here you can erect, and that's different than,
I'm sorry?
it says here in the code.
What you
signs
highlighted.
may be erected.
Well, except there are exempt signs, and ours is clearly exempt. As you can see, I highlighted it in
understand that,
section
but it says
B.
the following types of signs may be erected, so you could put to a post.
Correct, which is what we're now trying to do. And my point here is that, again, we're talking about 1 hour out of 168 hours.
We can't make exceptions.
I understand. So I am requesting the board's permission
To make an exception.
to make an exception, and the reason being, again, we are doing no harm. And if our representatives are not looking out for our ability to exercise our constitutional freedoms, then especially seeing what I saw with the point of the exempt signs and that sort of thing, I'm cordially requesting my local government to say something about this. And I mean, this is not, we're not doing any damage. We're very peaceful. In fact, we're joyful. And we have people stopping by to say hello and thanking us for what we're doing and thanking us for standing out there and right now, especially when our democracy is under full-fledged attack from our federal government, let's be honest. This is a point where it's important that all of us stand up for these rights.
I think.
Even in small
In the
towns.
code, it says no sign or should be placed on a utility pole. I don't believe what they're doing is placing it on the pole.
Nope, we're not.
I don't think for 1 hour, I agree with Kim. Ms. Travis is fine. I think they should go ahead and do it. 1 hour is not causing any trouble just because a couple of people complained. I don't care. I agree with them. Go ahead and do it.
So
Thank you.
what happens when we have somebody else come?
If they do it the same way, they can.
No
So-
matter who it is?
So-
Yeah.
We're not breaking anything.
So
We're not
One
breaking,
other question, and I meant to look, and I apologize, I didn't. So when you tie it to the post, does it in any way impede the sidewalk?
no, not at all.
It doesn't cross the sidewalk?
Not at all. No, it's well inside the sidewalk.
I don't know, it's,
We're very careful about that. We don't impede anyone.
Again, this is something the board can take under advisement at this point, if they're not ready to act on it, if they want more research on it, or if they want to think about it, the board can, this is a public comment, it's been raised in a public comment, so it's really the board's decision.
And I think we should review it.
Well, I think we need more legal interpretation. I thought what Walter said was to have it clarified, and if we need to have more clarity. It's not clear to me. It says exempt signs, but what is it exempt from?
If you look on the second page there,
Yeah, it's
in-
one of the
where it
codes
says
in our
two,
town that's-
where it says temporary signs, those are exempt, temporary signs. And then you go down to E, posters, banners, and signs not exceeding 16 square feet on non-residential uses.
but I don't think it matters exempt or temporary signs. Regardless, nothing can be tied to town property.
So that's why I'm respectfully
Where it's placed.
requesting,
Not tied.
exactly.
For an hour.
Yes.
So it has to be, you have to figure it out, what it is that you're saying,
They cannot be attached to town property. I don't care if you say tied or taped.
It's not town property, by the way. Because the
The lamp
lamp post
It's not.
is town
Yeah.
property?
Well, now they've started driving posts through the gardens to put it on,
So
instead of
which is
tying it to
better?
the,
Which
that's,
is-
that's my point, is,
Well, the posts that you put up caused no damage. I mean, I went. and-
They caused no
I mean,
damage.
I heard complaints, and so I went and looked, and I didn't see any damage in the grass or
No,
anything.
we're very careful with, any soil that we move is put back before we even leave the
No,
guard,
I-
before
no,
we
I-
leave Fountain
I-
Square.
I
We're
agree.
very
But
careful.
I think that since it has been turned down for other people, I don't know, I have to really think about this. I do have to think about it.
okay.
16 square feet.
It's much less than that, much less.
What are the measurements?
I think it's about 10 feet by 8 feet.
That's bigger than 16 square feet.
I'll have to measure it, I'm not sure. It's not 16 square, it's not 16 square feet, there's no way. It's not 16 square feet. It's a banner, yeah. It says workers over
Well, if
billionaires.
it's 8 by 10, that's 80.
You know, it says workers over billionaires. I'm not sure. I'll have to,
No, it was about the height of the channel post,
Correct.
as I recall. So
Correct.
that's 4 or
5,
5
yeah,
feet. And then
exactly.
maybe 4 or 5 feet. So
Yeah.
4 times 5 is 20 square feet, so that does exceed the 16 square feet, correct? But it's temporary.
it's temporary. It's an hour. It's 1 hour out of 168 hours. And as I said, you know, we're in a predicament as a country right now, and I think it's very important that our First Amendment rights and our constitutional freedoms are allowed to move forward in small towns, in large towns, wherever we are. We're in the fight for our democracy, the fight of our life for our democracy. So I feel, as a citizen, as one of your constituents, that's why I'm requesting that this be set aside until we can be through this nightmare of what's going on right now in our federal government, and then there won't be a need for it anymore.
Is this a public comment session?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kim.
Oh, sure, thank you.
And you want to have
Yeah, I'd
comment?
like to comment on this, if I might. I say this as someone who has worked in medical refugee camps in Africa, who was taught in the rainforest underprivileged children, who was an officer of the courts for foster youth, who went down 2 years ago and canvassed in the poor counties of North Carolina, advising them how to avoid voter suppression. I am a diehard liberal, almost to the point of being an anarchist. I so appreciate the message that is being out there. However, a banner will not change the message. The spirit of the people will change the message. And this is about, you're right, everyone has a democratic right. But we live in such hyper-partisan times that I don't want to see someone put up a sign for 1 hour that says, all protesters are fanatic lunatics. My turn. And I respect what you're doing so much. And the people there, I remember a neighbor on my street in 1965 started on a street corner saying, end the war in Vietnam, one person. And within a year, there were 100 people. And as someone who was tear gassed in New Haven, we stopped a war. And we didn't do it with banners, we did it with our spirit and marching and protesting. That's how we got civil rights, and that's how so much was done. And I think that saying the message is, let's go out there, let's express our feelings, whether you feel the government is right or wrong. But the sign, to me, we couldn't do it for the Harvest Festival. There are liability issues coming from California, the most litigious state in the country. I worry when a sign blows off and it covers someone's face, they're going to fall on the ground. I really would rather see you get rid of all the candidate signs and all of that I have to see all over the place than this. I think we have to, I would say maintain the standard. I would say to you, please keep it up, do what you can, let your voices be loud, and that's heard. So, my point of view.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Judy.
It sounds reasonable to say it's only up for an hour. It's not hurting it, although the word place means place. It does not mean a fix. Tying something to something is affixing it, not placing it. I find some signs that have been up around here very disturbing. In 2016, there was a house up in Millerton that had an F. Trump sign up on their house. It was their house, so they could do it. I didn't like it. 2020, there was an F. Biden sign up on someone's house. Didn't like that either. Not every thought that we have needs to be expressed ad infinitum. You clearly believe strongly in what you're saying, but I don't want to see signs from somebody else. I don't want to see this become a, let's see who could go put it up for an hour. And if an hour is okay, why not 2 hours? Why not 4 hours? I don't want to have what is already an incredibly fractured social situation face the possibility of being made worse if everybody and their brother can go hang up a sign on Fountain Square. That's just my opinion.
Anyone else? Make a motion to close the meeting?
Okay, so, I have a motion to adjourn.
I just did.
She made it.
I made it.
Okay, I'll second. All in favor?
8:13.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed?